Mint error in your favour. Collect £200. Although we are not in Kansas anymore, Dorothy, because the auction is currently at £1,792. If you get the Monopoly reference, then you're very, very cool indeed. But this is the auction that I'm running on a consignment basis. This is not my coin, I will hasten to add, for the what I think is mint error of the decade, if not mint error of the century, the not silver Cupronickel Silver Britannia. This is a huge mint error. The fact that it even exists is staggering in the first place, but it's got all the security features that you would expect for a Silver Britannia. It looks pretty silvery, but it ain't silver. It is Cupronickel. Massive error. And as you can see, a very popular error as well, with bidders willing to bid lots for this coin. Now, this auction that I'm running does end this coming weekend, Saturday. There is a link in the description box below to the auction page on my official Backyard Bullion eBay account. So if you want to bid, this might be one of the only chances to do it, because whilst there are other auctions going on for just UK only bidders, there aren't very many people who are willing to offer it globally. So for coin collectors out there, error collectors out there, these are going to be super sought after. They're not going to see very many of these come up for sale. With only 209 in existence, and not very many of them going to be put up for sale because people just want them in their collections, this is going to be a very hot coin. Now, the purpose of today's video is not only just to share with you about the auction, but also talk about coin grading. I mentioned this is not my coin. This is one I'm selling on a consignment basis. I've got two of these coins. I'm very, very fortunate to have two of these coins. And I've graded mine. I have an MS69 grade and an MS67 grade with NGC. I haven't got them back yet because I'm currently having a little bit of an argy-bargy with NGC about the fact that the words mint error were not included on the label. So they've currently gone back to NGC to be corrected and have mint error put on them. But I wanted to talk about the grading element of this, because there have been a number of questions, not just about these mint error coins, but coins generally, whether raw or graded coins are better, and whether or not grading is worth doing on coins like this, super rare, very valuable coins. And the honest answer is, in my opinion, yes. That's why I've graded the two that I got from Chards. So I want to show you how easy it is to grade your coins with NGC. NGC is the grading partner of choice that I use. It's just, I prefer the slabs, quite honestly. They're not sponsoring today's video. In fact, as I mentioned, I'm having a bit of an argy-bargy with them about the fact that I clicked the mint error box on the submission form, but didn't get mint error put on to the actual label, which is just a little bit infuriating because they're asking me to pay again to get it all graded correctly. So not sponsoring me, but they are a really good company generally, and I like the slabs. I like the way they look. I like the fact that they're nice and clean and the white background and everything. So yeah. We're going to go through that and show you how to join NGC and submit coins to NGC, because it's really easy to do. It's not as expensive as people think, and you can do it yourself without having to go through third parties, which is, for some people, important. However, if you are just going to be grading just one single coin, it might be worth considering going through one of the very many approved sort of distributors and dealers with NGC and doing it. It is a lot easier to go through a third party. They just do it all for you, but it is easy to do if you want to do it yourself. So now, coin grading, very, very quick overview and basics. If you don't know what coin grading is, basically it's an authentication process. It's a grading process on the quality of a particular coin, and then it's put into a protective case, which is vacuum sealed, it's secure. You can enjoy your coins a lot easier, certainly the more rare ones that you don't want to sort of handle with obviously bare hands and so on to damage them. You can see the coins, you can really get to grips with them without having to worry about that condition. Grading also, there's this whole economy around grading that if you get a good graded coin, so the scale is 1 to 70, if you get a graded 70 coin, you are likely to have an uplift in value on the coin. It does depend on the coin. Bullion coins, for example, don't tend to do that well. Yes, you'll have a small uplift for 70s, but the chance of getting 70 is really low. And there's two types of grades, or two types of categories. There's MS and PF. MS stands for mint state. So it's basically just like circulation-based coins, and PF stands for proof, so proof coins. So these coins, for example, are mint state coins, MS69, 69 graded out of 70. So the one I've got graded at 69 is just about as close to perfect as you can get, but it's not quite perfect. That's basically an overview of grading. There are a whole host of other interesting elements that go into what makes a coin perfect grade and doesn't, and so on. There are plenty of other grading companies as well. I'd say if you are going to coin grade, you want to stick with the two biggest companies out there, NGC and PCGS, because those are the most widely respected and sought after from collectors, and the grades from them tend to get better than other grading companies. There are other grading companies available, so do with that what you will. Now, in terms of being able to submit to someone like NGC, you do have to be an annual paid member with NGC to do that. The memberships you can see on the screen here, they range from, well, there is a free member, but you can't submit underneath that free, but you can see some of their online resources, but it ranges from $39 per year up to $329 per year. Now, if you have just one coin to sell or to grade, it's probably worth just going in for the associate member. You pay $39. You don't have to pay that for the rest of your life or anything. That's just one-off payment, and then you don't have to renew it the next year, and then you could submit. But if you've got more than potentially £120 worth of credit that you're going to be spending with NGC, then get the premium member, because the £120 credit essentially pays for the $159 worth of that annual membership. And if you are grading lots and lots of coins, you might want to consider getting the elite membership, because you get 10% off coin grading and conservation fees, which we'll talk a little bit more about the fees in a moment. You also get the £120 credit on there. So that's the membership level that I've got, because I've been submitting quite a lot of my coins and collection to that. So pretty easy to do and not massively expensive, basically free if you're submitting 120 quid's worth of coins to NGC, or if you just got one coin to go in, then $39, which is about 25, 27 pounds, something like that. So in terms of the actual submissions, once you are a member, well, in fact, let's go to the submission page here. So if we go to how to submit, what you have to do is, of course, become a grading member. Then you have to look at your coin and then do the submission forms. Now, the submission forms are the complex bit. Once you've joined and you've worked out what your coin is going to be, and you've opened up the submission form, then this is what you're confronted with. It looks complicated. And I'm not going to lie, it sort of is. But once you get used to it, once you've done them a few times, it's actually really not that bad at all. So in terms of filling out the form, we're going to do one now for this Mint Era coin, and I'm also going to do one for a gold sovereign as well on the same form, because you can combine multiple things as long as they're in the same category. So first up, you would want to populate all of your ship to box. I'm not going to populate that right now. I'll do that just off screen at the end to preserve my privacy. Next time is that for the UK, this is basically UK based because we're in UK. So if you're submitting to the USA, there might be slightly different looking form. But in the UK, we click ship to USA. That's what we want to do. So you would send it to the UK office of NGC. They then send it off to the US. Then the pickup side of things, you can choose. You can go into their office in London and pick it up. That's what I tend to do. Or you can have it posted to you. So I'm just going to click pick up. Now, the type of submission is the one that people, it's kind of the easiest one of the three categories to work out what you want to click in. Unless it's a US coin or an ancient coin, it's going to be world. That's pretty simple. You click on world coins. Now, in terms of the conservation, very brief overview, and this is just top level notes of this kind of process. Basically, if you have a coin that's got some, I don't know, copper spotting or some hazing on it or some fingerprints, things like that, stuff that will potentially affect the value of the coin, you can have those kind of things conserved by NGC. They do a professional, it's not coin cleaning, but they just remove issues that have been presented to the coin. Now, that is an additional fee. It depends on the category of coin and the value of the coin as well. For these particular coins that we're going to be doing here, we're going to be clicking the modern conservation button. Now you can just decline conservation, not have anything conserved. One of the myths about NGC is that they will just conserve everything because they charge for the service. That is not my experience. I have clicked modern conservation or gold conservation on all of the coins I've ever submitted, and it's only the coins that they deem would require conservation that they end up conserving. And when they conserve something, they do it because they believe that it will enhance the overall grade that you're going to get. So it's really worth doing, in my humble opinion. And for this particular submission, I would always click modern conservation for what we're going to do. Now, the next one is the most complex box. This is the one that you really need to sort of, well, first of all, get right, because it's really important to have it in the right category from a sort of insurance perspective and value of coin perspective, but also to make sure that you're making it into the right category and not getting the form confused. The vast majority of coins that you will ever submit are going to be world, modern conservation, and modern. This category here, modern. Now, if you've got huge bulks of coins of the same type, you can go into modern bulk or modern bulk mixed types, and there's a slight discount in the fees. But the vast majority of coins that you will ever submit are going to be modern. However, if you've got coins that are worth more than the £2,000 maximum coin value, you do need to put it into a different category. There is a standard category for up to 2,500. There is a gold category for gold coins. So basically, standard category would be if it's some kind of silver coin that's worth £2,500 or more, or a different kind of alloy. Gold, you are looking at those being the quintuple sovereigns, the 2-ounce great engravers coins, or for a very brief time, it was 1-ounce gold coins that when spot price was over £4,000. So, you know, that is the category. You can see the fees are significantly more, but it's of course because of the maximum coin value. If your coin is worth more than 4,000, then you need to obviously look at the walkthrough services here. There is a walkthrough for US/world coins here for up to 20,000, for up to 7,500, and an unlimited value as well. So if you've got those really, really expensive rare coins, then there are different categories for it. But for this particular coin from the mint eras, modern is the way to go. Right, NGC add-on services. Now there are a whole bunch of different labels and things that you can often ask for from NGC. You can look up on their sort of catalogue of all the different labels. So if there's like a UK-based label you want or a sovereign-based label you want that they offer, you can elect to have that label. There's even first releases, early releases coins that you labels, sorry, that you can have for different coins if you get a coin and it's brand new from the mint by a certain deadline. For these particular coins, we're not going to actually click anything in this box here. We've got Variety Plus, Mint Error, but you have to sort of see below here to click those buttons down here. So you don't actually click anything in these ones here for this particular coin. And the next 3 boxes, again, are not really anything relevant to this particular submission, but there are different options in here if you're reholdering things, or if, for example, you're sending in a coin that you have no idea what it is and you want a metallurgic analysis, there are different things that you can do. Okay, so once you've selected this, it's very simple. All you have to do is click 5 boxes here. Ship to USA, pick up, world, modern conservation, modern, and modern conservation is optional as well. So the next bit is filling out the form. So here is where we would fill out this for the coins that we have. So Kingdom, there we go. So coin date for the error is 2026. Now I have written mint error on label in this box here. That you won't see it all in there, but when you submit the form, that data will be in that field. And hopefully then that will be, this is what I've been told by NGC to do. So the denomination of this is £2 and it's an MS coin. I've been told you have to click Variety Plus and Mint Error, even though Mint Error should have been, anyway, that's the argy-bargy I'm currently going through. You'll notice this one crossover grade is grayed out because there's no need to put that in. We're not putting in a coin that's currently graded, and certification is if holded. Metal type here, we're going CUNI, weight 28 grams, and then the value. Now, it's a very difficult one to sort of work out what to put in here because I've obviously got an auction going for near £1,800, but there are other auctions going for £500. So what I would say is I put in here what you've paid for the coin if you want to, but personally I'd put in there what you think the coin is worth. So I'm going to put in here the full 1,800 just for now because that's what I'm seeing it being worth on that particular one. Now I said I'd do another example of a sovereign in here as well. So let's just do an example. It's the 2026 proof one. If it's just a regular proof sovereign, you don't need to put anything in the mint mark area. Denomination and currency for a sovereign is £1. If it was a PF proof coin, you put proof. It's not a mint error. We're not asking for anything special on that. We are going to write gold though there, and it's 7.98 grams for a sovereign. If it's brand new from the mint, it's probably 1,200 quid, so we're going to put 1,200 quid in there. It's that simple, and you just keep populating down all the way. There's up to 50 slots on one particular page. Very simple, easy peasy to do. And once you've done all of that, you are then ready to click the submit button. Now, before you click submit button, I'll just talk about this. So the total fees section down here will highlight to you what the total fees are going to be. Now, this is not necessarily going to be the total for a few reasons. First of all, the NGC conservation fee is calculated here as the maximum possible fee that they're going to charge you. As I said, they don't always conserve every coin that you submit, so this is not necessarily going to be there. Now, it does say, and this is one of the things I've always been a bit confused about them, it says total now due, £93.20. Payment is required for submission processing to begin. That's not true. You don't have to pay beforehand because you don't know what the fees are going to be. What you do is you do click the submit button, you then get your form here, and you'll be able to save the PDF and print the PDF. You then get the coins to NGC. You can either post them in or drop them in by appointment to their offices in London. And then the coins go off to America. And that process takes a while. You need to be prepared for that. It takes 3 months usually on average to be turned around. So do bear that in mind. At the point at which it's all submitted, the grades have been done and it's been returned to London, that's when you get an invoice from the NGC accounts team. That's when you pay the final bill. So they, in my opinion, do need to change this here because it's not, it's a bit of a misnomer. Also, just note that my account has a 10% discount on here applied because I'm at that elite level membership. So there we go. It's pretty simple, really. All you have to do is print the form off, send it in with the coins, and then wait a long time. So it's very easy to do. And in terms of actual grading, if you've just got one coin to grade, it's not going to be horrendously expensive. You know, we're looking, you know, we've got 2 coins in here, £93.20. Of course, there's going to be a postage to and from, plus the membership cost. You know, ultimately it's about £75, £80 to grade just the one single coin all on its own. But if you've got other coins to grade as well, it brings the average down quite considerably, quite quickly. So yeah, grading, worth doing in my opinion, humbly. I really do think these coins especially are super valuable. And well, I mean, we can see they're super valuable with the auction results that's currently going on for them. But the coin grading side of things will protect them, will preserve them, will authenticate them, will make sure that these coins are preserved and protected for future generations to enjoy and collect and invest in. I think it's a really, really cool error coin. I don't know what I'm going to do. Am I going to sell one? I mean, it does, listen, it does make you think about it. If a raw coin is going to get 1792, will I keep the 69 grade and sell the 67? I don't know, is the honest answer. Haven't decided yet. Really haven't, genuinely haven't decided, because I do think this is error of the century. I don't know where the final value of this is going to be. Be interesting to see where this auction ends up in the coming days. So, as I mentioned, links in the description box below, not only to my auction, but to Chards' website, the information page, and their video all about these errors if you want to find out more about it. That's it. If you're interested, or if you found the grading part of this video interesting, then do let me know. I do genuinely think it's very easy to grade on your own, independently from third parties. But if you want to take the stress out of it and the hassle of it, then go to a third party. Very simple to do. All right, that's it from me. Thanks all for watching. I'll see you on the next video. As always, make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe for more.